Hey babes, I'm Cynthia.
And I'm Beverly. Grab your favorite drink. Let's sip and chat.
Welcome to Tipsy and Truthful, the podcast.
Period.
Hey babes, welcome back to another episode of Tipsy and Truthful, the podcast where two best friends sip and chat about life, relationships, parenthood,
Every week.
and everything in between, right? Mm-hmm. I got it. It took a minute, but I got it. This is their number one Latina-owned podcast in the world.
Yep.
Period. Worldwide. We need that on a shirt. We need shirts galore. Yeah. We need shirts
You didn't even
galore.
say who you are.
Oh, right. I'm Beverly.
And I think Cynthia. So.
She's Cynthia. And we have very special guests here in the house.
Mm-hmm.
We have our friends Elisa and Jose. Say hi, guys.
Hello, everybody. How you guys doing?
Hello.
And yeah, before we get into introducing more about you, we have our whole spiel of like how your week was going.
You can join us this week.
Your high of the week and your opportunity. Yeah, you guys can join in too. Babe, do you want to start? Do you want me to start?
Sure.
Okay.
My high of the week is my first week at home.
Nice. Which, mind you, she was busier than if she was working.
I was just going to say that. And my opportunity was, for real though, wow, I was busy. So I need to like tone it down. I need to work on like actually not trying to get things done all the time and like taking some moment to relax. So I need to work on that.
Period.
You?
My high of the week was, we had the whole week was a little like stinky. Like the weather was rainy and gross, but there was like a little in between pieces, literally like for 4 hours of the day where it was like sunny. Well, at least partly cloudy and hot. So we went swimming. We took the kids swimming. So that's my high of the week. I'm trying to get as much activities as possible during the week. I mean, during the summer. Because pretty much as soon as it gets cold, I hibernate. I can't handle the cold.
Yeah.
I can't. I'm super whiny.
Well, there's really nothing to do. That's the thing.
There's tons of stuff to do. I mean, there's a lot of
I
indoor
don't
places.
I do not like snow. So.
I don't want to shovel my car at the snow. I don't want to clean my car. I don't want to put on my coat.
Yeah. Boots.
And boots. I'm just gonna complain until we move to Florida. Okay. Cynthia's like running her head. My opportunity, maybe stop being so negative Nancy about the weather because I've been living in Massachusetts for 34 years. Maybe. I'll consider
Tiny
it.
bit of opportunity.
I'll consider it. So we do this every week. Think about the best part of your week and your opportunity, like
Well, you can work on.
something you can work on this week. Do you want to start, Elisa?
I'll start. I think my high of the week is I would say I took Ethan, our son, for his piano and singing classes and stuff. So my high of the week comes from him and seeing how much he's enjoying it. And at first we were just kind of trying it out, but now we are fully invested into it. And so now he's going to be doing hour-long classes, and he seems to be really liking
That's awesome.
it. So
Finding
it's
the
something-
niche, the thing that your kid
Yes.
loves, that's the best.
So that's why I'm like, all right, you want to try it? Let's try it. 30 minute classes. Let's see how it goes. And then the last class was an hour long, and we're like, yeah, he likes it. He's very into it. So that was my high of the week. And especially since I kind of had my mom with me and we kind of went shopping. So we left him in his class and just went shopping.
Perfect opportunity. Like, let's go. Girl time.
Yeah. My opportunity for the week would be to take a chill pill a little bit more often.
Yeah.
I'm a Virgo, Cynthia,
I know. That's a problem.
It's a problem. So my week started off with a little bit of a high anxiety due to work-related things. And then I was like, you know what? It is what it is. I gotta ride with the flow. Let's just go with it, and I just need to relax because it's out of my control.
Yeah.
So the end of the week got a little bit better.
Good. When you have that mindset change.
Yeah.
It's crazy what that can do.
Your mindset literally is everything. I told Alia that she's
It's
like, Mommy,
hard.
you're not a therapist.
But
But
it
we
is
are.
hard.
But we are.
And Aliyah is a Virgo.
That's the thing. And so she gets in her little cyclone, her little tornado of
It's hard to get out of it.
stress. I have to like, whoa, girl, focus.
Mm-hmm.
You'll be okay.
How about you?
Jose?
So my high of the week, I count Sunday as the beginning of the week for myself. So I think my high of the week was when we went to my sister's house and we spent time with my sister, her kids, Ethan, and my mom was there as well. And, you know, it was technically spontaneous. We knew we were going, but we wasn't sure what we were going to be doing or anything like that. So I ended up playing softball with my niece and then pitching to her, Ethan, and my nephew. So they were getting a kick out of it. So it was kind of good to spend some time with them and
building core memories.
And that's your thing. Softball is like your preferred
activity.
No, I'm thinking about another word like
hobby.
Hobby. There you go. So it's fun to share your hobby with like your kids.
Something to work on. I'll say try to communicate better. You know, I'm not gonna point fingers or anything like that, but you know.
Whoa! You guys were here. That look.
But yeah, I guess more communication with my partner.
Okay.
That is always something that we can all work on.
We can all work on that.
It's always a continuous.
I do have to say though, he's come a long way.
Yeah.
I mean, we all need to work on it, but in the beginning, compared to how it is now, communicates a lot more than what he did before.
Yeah.
There you go. That's all we can ask
Hey,
for.
baby
It's better.
steps.
Baby steps. At least it's going in the right direction.
Yeah.
If it was backwards, girl,
We got a problem.
we had a problem.
We'll be like, bueno, José, tú estás como feo para la
Está feo, tú, José, no sé.
Yo sí estoy feo. You know.
So, the reason we asked our friends to come here is because I feel like they're in a unique position. They have a lot of different things that I don't want to call them challenges, but like a lot of different aspects to work around, to work through. They are newlyweds. You have a son.
Wait, what is newlyweds considered? Because I feel like you guys are getting into the. You guys
I feel
been
like
married
5
for a
years
while.
and under, I would consider that a newlywed.
I feel like a newlywed
always
is
thought it
2
was
and
like
under.
2 years.
Me too.
Okay, so they're not newlyweds, but they've been married for 4 years. Did you guys say earlier?
3 years.
Okay. To me, that's so new. I feel like I've been in 2 very long-term relationships, right? And I feel like after year 5 is when you really see their true colors. You know what I mean?
I don't think so. I think you always see the true colors, but you're blindfolded and then you get tired of dealing with the same thing.
Maybe that's it.
Because
Maybe it's because we, especially us women,
we
like
think
to
it gets
focus
better
on the
with
good.
time.
Not only that, we ignore the
All the little red flags.
The little red
They're like,
flags.
checkered. It's time to go.
all
That's
the little.
what's his name?
Kenny?
Yes, I love that episode because
Kenny's
it's so
hilarious.
true, and I've used it in so many conversations. I'm like, if it's a red flag, it's a red flag. Stop trying to change it.
Exactly. It's true.
real.
And people tell you who they are from the beginning.
But we do that. And I don't want to say just women, men too. When you're in that honeymoon, that getting to know each other, I want to hang out every minute of every day phase, it's easy to ignore and put aside the things that maybe you would want to address. You know, I'm not saying like everything is a deal breaker, but okay, so that's one aspect there. I consider them newlyweds. They have been married for 3 years. They are raising, Elisa has a son prior to their marriage, and they're raising him together as their son. That's another challenge because it comes with co-parenting. It comes with like step-parent roles and all of that. And they run a business together. So, and you have your own separate side business too with your DJing. So it's like a lot of pieces to the puzzle, you know, that have to come together and
to form one cohesive, you know.
Chaos.
Plus work.
Plus their regular
I work
jobs.
full time and
Exactly.
she kind of worked part time. But
Which is crazy because I don't know how you have time for all of it. But we'll get into that.
It
Yeah.
all works out. I don't know how, but it does.
You sound like me. How do you do it? I'm like, girl, I do not know. Well, that was gonna be my first question. So for work, I want to guess. Tell me if I'm in the right thing. I know what you do for work, but I don't know if these are the right words to describe it. You are in like the administrative medical field, correct?
You can say that, yes.
Are you a project manager?
I do, yes. I do a lot of project management.
she's not a project manager.
What do you mean?
That's another.
She does project managing stuff, but
She doesn't have the official title?
Yes.
We got to talk after.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have the official title.
Trust
It's
me.
been
Which means you don't have the official pay.
Huh?
Which means you don't have the
Of
official
course
pay.
not.
F that.
Of course not.
We'll talk about it after.
Tú tienes que ver con todo lo que we have been going through so many things because of her pay. That is insane because
But
she's
we
a
can't
part
talk
time
about it.
and we can't. Yeah. it will have to be on a private.
Okay.
Yeah.
After the pod.
Unfortunately, I can't really talk too much in detail, but yes, it's been an ongoing battle. I can say there is light at the end of the tunnel, hopefully. I'm still going to school for my master's in project management. I had to put a pause to it. What I can say was I had an injury, and unfortunately, it has taken
A toll.
a big toll on me.
Yeah, we've seen
and
it.
it's been it's gonna be 4 years this month in July. It'll be 4 years since my injury. So, and I'm still not 100%. I would say I'm about a 50% better. But there's still room for improvement. So there is light at the end of the tunnel. Hopefully, once everything is good and I am 100%, I can go back to working full time.
Okay, now Jose, I'm gonna try to guess because you told me what you do.
I do know what you do.
my title change. Well,
Okay.
technically my title change is something different now.
But you still
are
work in the
at
same field?
place?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like this is for what I know that you used to do that at least. You were like in the community service field, like focused on like helping youth. Am I right?
So wait, which one is it that you guys know about?
This was during
Counselor
COVID.
kind of.
No, so I'm not doing that no more.
Oh, okay.
It was mentoring kids.
Yes.
Yes.
No, I'm not doing that anymore.
Okay.
Okay.
I actually work for a nonprofit in Worcester, and I started as they called it a cultural broker, which was going around the city of Worcester, handing out PPEs. For people that don't know who that is, it's hand sanitizers, mask, stuff for COVID, COVID testing. We also worked with other organizations in Worcester, and we hand out information about where they're having COVID vaccine. Where were they giving where were they taking the test for people to take tests for COVID and stuff like that. But now I'm a community organizer.
Okay.
So we're planning things to change stuff in Worcester.
Okay.
Yeah.
With community leaders, partnering up with many community leaders and things like that.
Period. Okay. So you also have a business.
Yes.
Okay, tell us a little about your business. How did it start? When did it start?
Go ahead.
We kind of stumbled onto it. So
That is a lie.
I love how he doesn't even let her. That's a lie. We're not gonna keep going with that.
Well,
So-
I stumbled onto it. It
That-
wasn't for me. It was mainly for him, because he was always interested in creating T-shirts and things like that. So it started off that way. Then my mom wanted me to tap into my florist days way back when I was a teenager. So then we kind of started doing that as well, doing flowers, my mom and I. But then we decided to combine both and make it just one business.
Okay. So tell I
That's
used
the
to
way I
mention.
remember it.
Okay,
That's
how do
it
you
went.
remember that? it
No,
started?
that's how it went.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit more about the actual. You mentioned little pieces of what you guys do, and we obviously know. But what's the name of your business? What do you guys do?
So it's Production by Rose LLC, and we do a lot of customized, personalized things like tumblers, T-shirts, mugs.
Shadow boxes.
Shot glasses. We had
I
something
know.
for our trip.
I was just gonna say, I
Shot
was waiting.
glasses.
Masks at that time.
Yeah,
We were
during
doing
COVID.
personalized masks, yes. And then what else? Sweaters.
Engraving.
Now we're gonna be introducing engraving. I've had my laser machine for about 6 months, but with my injury and my condition, I have to take things on a slower pace. So in that sense, it's taking me a lot longer to kind of get comfortable with this beast, because it is a beast. But it is amazing the things that this machine can do. It engraves tumblers like the Yeti cups, the Stanley cups. It can engrave
Ooh.
wood, so it can I can make a lot of, I don't know if you guys have seen on the business page, like the wood letter signs. I can do that. I can do acrylic. There's a bunch of
crazy.
stuff that we can do. And I am just starting to tap into what this machine can do.
Okay.
So that'll be coming soon. I have started posting a few things here and there.
What's the name of your Instagram so people can follow you?
Productions by Rose LLC.
So
We'll tag them.
Yeah,
guys,
we'll tag them, but
so
I
you
just
guys
wanna
can find them.
know.
They have a lot of cool stuff for real. And then the other side of that, especially like when it comes to like holidays like Valentine's Day and Mother's Day, is
flowers. Yes, we do flowers for special events. So anyone who is having a wedding or baby shower, things like that,
they're downplaying it. It's not just flowers. They're beautiful flower arrangements. Don't listen to her. They're not just flowers.
It's a fresh flowers. We can also work with silk flowers, but we mainly work with fresh flowers. And yeah.
Are you still doing the strawberries?
We do for Valentine's Day and like special orders sometimes.
And flan.
Oh yeah, he does his flan.
What?
With Baileys.
What?
And infused?
There's strawberry Baileys, regular Baileys, and coconut rum.
Okay. I was waiting for the coconut.
Yeah.
We need to talk about that after. We have a lot of conversations after this pod.
But some things are like seasonal, like the strawberries. You'll see them more during the Valentine's Day,
Mother's Day. Sometimes people work.
And then
birthdays también.
The flan you see us posting it more, promoting it more during like Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Oh yeah.
Makes sense. That's when we all want them.
Yes,
because we don't want to make a whole pernil and a flan. So if you have a question, you jump in, because I'm thinking about, as somebody who runs a business with their partner, okay, we almost strangle each other on a daily, because it's I don't know how your aspect of it, like coming up with the pricing, with how you want to run your Instagram page with X, Y, and Z. For us, it's all of that, plus adding how we're going to go about employees, how to hire them, how to tell them if something is wrong,
How to train them,
like all of that. John has a specific style. He's like he's a perfectionist, especially in our business. He's a perfectionist of us too. And he's kind of hard on everybody in the business because he wants things to be perfect. I have a more gentle approach.
Sounds like someone I know.
I have a more gentle approach. I don't like to micromanage. I want my employees to be happy, number one, because I feel like happy employees give better results. But we have had a lot of tips on that. Do you guys have similar challenges, and how do you deal with them?
Yes.
Wait, it depends, because we really don't have anyone employees, right? We don't have
but you still have to coming up with the name,
mommy.
coming up with the logo, coming up with those are all decisions that have to be made.
So the logo, the name was already preset.
Because of we already had the business for the flowers.
Oh, gotcha.
So we kind of joined both of them. That's where it became Productions.
Okay.
Because before it was Customs by Rose, I think it was.
Yes, I remember.
So
Rose Customs.
There you go, Rose Customs. Mm-hmm. And that was
just the
t-shirts.
Rose as in the flower?
Yes.
Okay. For some reason, I thought it had something to do with the
name. Yeah.
It does.
It does. So the name came from my grandmother, which her name was Rosa. So my mom has always had this thing with Rose. So the flower business was Events by Rose. And then...
Keep going.
And then when we combined both businesses with the shirts, personalized items, and the flowers, we just decided we do a lot of different things. So let's just call it Productions by Rose LLC. It was just easier instead of coming up with
I want to hear from Jose, because he's giving me those things.
So I didn't understand the name in the beginning, because I was like, I don't know why call it someone else's name. When I thought about it, I was like, okay, so we're naming our business
after
your sister, like,
right? Who has nothing to do with it.
I'm like, wait,
we love you, Rose, but
I was so confused. But then I was like, you know what? It is what it is. It's they had already the name, so I'm like.
So you had like the paperwork registered and everything already, right?
Yeah.
Which makes a lot of sense. That's not
I was like
easy thing.
Ya como está ahí and everything's all set and everything. I was like, you know what? It is what it is. Anyways, y me sale más fluently. No, me sale más fluently now. Like when people ask me, I'm like, oh, Productions by Rose. And they're like,
Guys, we don't apologize for Jace in the background. He's just really excited. We kept trying to stop so you guys don't hear him, but we hope that anybody who listens understands that my son is just, he gets excited, he screams sometimes. So we're just going to keep going right over his screams. We hope that's okay, and we love you. Keep going, Jose.
But yeah, so like, ahora, like, it is like, even before I didn't mind, but
and I don't
it don't
think you
face me
actually
either.
I don't think you actually really knew my grandmother's name because I never met my grandmother. She passed before.
You told me before.
Okay.
So you knew that it was Rose as in the grandmother, not the sister? Okay.
Because so at one point I decided to ask a question and I was like, so why Rose? And then that's when she was like, oh, it's because my mom's name was Rosa. And I was like, oh, okay, it makes sense. But that's why I didn't make it into a big issue. Cause, you know,
plus all the paperwork was already done, so.
And that would have been more money to
exactly.
So I was like, you know what, it is what it is.
No, and it does roll off the tongue.
Yeah.
It does roll off the tongue. Is there any other, like, I know that it sounds like this was really your dream first, and then you guys, like, combined your flower dream and your, like, customization dream to one.
I came more involved into it was because my injury was very fresh at that time. So the business started in like 2020. My injury was in the end of mid 2019. So I was going through a tough time, and I think that's an understatement.
I need to interrupt you real quick. I think you guys need to understand that she's had like surgeries and stuff. It's not like just an injury where she has to sit in her house and wait. Like there's been a lot of like medical complications.
She had 2 procedures at once.
For my first surgery, it was 2 procedures at once. Then my second surgery was just 1. But it has to do with my left arm and like shoulder. So I'm not disabled, thank God. And Amen. I hope not to be. But it does put a hinder on what I can do in my daily activities. Right. So in that time, you know, we were still very fresh in our relationship. And I think that we had to mature a lot faster because of what I have.
The circumstances.
Yes. So we've had to mature a lot faster than as a couple than normal couples have, because I couldn't do a lot of the things, like household things that typically women do, and not to like stereotype and things like that, but like, you know, we have a certain way of how we like our house cleaned. You know, it's not the same way. Not even my mom cleans my house the way I like it cleaned. And sometimes, you know, even the dishes, the house cleaning, like mopping, sweeping, organizing things, you know, I couldn't lift anything. I couldn't, till this day, I'm starting to be able to hold like a little bit of a gallon of milk, but I still, you know, there's good days and bad days. On my bad days, the gallon of milk would just slide right off my hand, you know? So those are the types of things. So I started to get into the business a lot more and do a lot more personalized and adding more of that design detail. Like, you know, it's all about the small detail.
And the creativity.
One, because I had the time, and 2, it was an escape for me. I was riding a very, very fine line with depression. And, you know, in order for me to find my escape, I needed to be able to feel like I was useful. I did not feel like I was contributing anything at that point, and I couldn't do anything. So I really felt like I couldn't do much at all.
You felt like you were adding weight to,
like a burden.
Yeah, burden.
Yes,
that's
a burden. The word. So,
do you think that the pandemic also had a lot to do with you, really? Because you had this injury.
No, it helped. The pandemic.
That's what I mean. To grow the business, to really focus, because now not only are you injured, but we're home.
Yeah, but who's gonna be ordering T-shirts to go nowhere?
Yeah.
Well,
so no, yes and no.
I get well present. I don't know.
The pandemic helped in the sense that I was able to start getting comfortable being at home and knowing that things are not going to be done the way I want them to be done. You know?
Damn, Jose, you weren't doing nothing right.
But no, it wasn't him. It wasn't just him. It was also my mom. It was also like anyone who would come and try to help.
I hope you guys heard that. It wasn't just him.
Anyone who would try to come help, it was just like I had to let go of my Virgo tendencies and just.
You want something that's particular.
I can.
You can relate. And just sit back and accept it. My house is not gonna be spotless, and it's at this point, I don't care. You know, I don't live in a freaking hoarder's house. You know, but it's not if you come unexpectedly, there's gonna be a mess, and I'm not ashamed of it. So
you see my house, there's toys in every inch.
That's that's actually a good thing, and people say that signifies a happy home.
Period. My kids are happy.
Is so unhappy then.
No, it's that Carol has his toys in a specific. The thing is, number one, you have one child.
Yeah.
Number two, he's now older.
He is older.
So he plays with his one thing, which is Beyblades, and
but even when he was a baby, like I was very particular about like, this is the area for toys, and when we're done, we're gonna put them away. Like I taught him very early on, because like as Virgo, I can't deal with that. Like
see, I learned like because of everything, and I was dealing, and I still am dealing with pain that you can't describe.
Yeah, I couldn't really imagine.
Nerve.
I couldn't imagine.
Oh, nerve pain.
It's nerve pain, so it's not something that you can take a Tylenol. You're all better. You know, it's not a headache. It's not a migraine, you know. It's nerve pain.
It's like a toothache, but worse. Because to me, there's nothing worse than that.
It has ebbs and flows. So ups and downs. So I can say 2 days ago, my pain level was at a 10. The rain, the humidity, the 80-degree, 90-degree weather.
Si tú quieres saber when it's gonna rain, just be next to her and she'll tell you.
It's so crazy because I heard that even growing up from my mom. Something about women with C-sections. La mujer con cesárea. I've never experienced that and I had a C-section. But my mom used to say that. Like, a woman with a C-section could tell you the weather.
So the change in pressure is what really affects me. So that's like... And early on, I didn't know what was causing my pain. Like, the doctors didn't even know exactly what was going on. So it took time to identify where the pain was coming from and how to fix it. And so I'm here dealing with pain, arm half asleep and everything. How do I describe what I'm feeling to my son that at that time, he was 7 years old? How?
How did you... I'm going to direct the question to you, Jose. Seeing how you guys weren't together for that long when the injury happened, right?
She had already
had it before.
Okay, so when you guys like got married and everything, and I want you to tell me the story of your wedding, because I know that COVID kind of affected your timeline, but
you know this episode's gonna be like 2 hours long, right?
No, you guys are gonna say short stories. Being like kind of in a newer relationship and having to help her with all of her, you know, surgery stuff, injury stuff, and at the same time trying to finagle and balance the helping poor Ethan figure out what's going on.
Being in a new relationship, doing all this, and also being a support system for her and her son that you're just coming into. Like, how were you even able to do that? Because that is hard. A lot of challenges right from the back.
To be honest, I don't know. I guess I love kids. So regardless of the fact, like, even that, you know, she was going through all this pain and all this stuff, I was still trying to, like, help Ethan to whatever he needed. And, like, cuando él quería pasar tiempo and, you know, Elisa was taking a nap, you know, he wanted to play on his Switch, and he's like, I used to see him running to go ask her, oh, can I play on my Switch? But then he noticed that he was sleeping, and he tried to wake her up, and I'm like, what's going on? What is it that you need? He's like, I want to play on my Switch. And I'm like, I look at her, and then I was like, you know what? I'll make the decision. And I was like, go right ahead. Like, you know, but that's when I was getting, like, comfortable.
Yeah.
I wasn't comfortable yet. So now that I'm comfortable, yo se lo digo, like, no, you're not using the Switch. or you can watch TV. Like him and I gotten into arguments because he wants to
switch.
No, because he wants to do things. All right, so
we're gonna
we're gonna take a little left turn real quick. So Ethan likes to do a lot of what he likes to do, right? He doesn't like to, like, he wants to watch whatever he wants to watch, right? But when we tell him to, let's watch something else, it's still whatever he wants to watch. It's not
He's not flexible.
No, so like if I want to watch a movie and we saw the movie already, he's like, I already seen this movie. I don't want to watch it. And like he'll walk away. And like he did that the other day, and I was like, you know what? He went into his room, and I went into his room. I grabbed his Switch, I grabbed his tablet, and I got his remote from his TV. Threw everything in my bed. He thought that I was mad because he went into his room because he didn't want to watch the movie. But I wasn't mad. I just took it away because I trust him not to use it, but he's done it before that he's used it without asking.
So you guys have certain like parameters about how long he can be on his like electronic devices? Is that what it is?
We used to, right? We used to have a time limit for him. Where did it go? I have no idea.
It happens.
But, it's a lot. It has to do a lot with, I don't want to say names, but, Elisa. She lets him play for longer. Yo no. Yo le digo, like, if you're going to play for an hour or 45 minutes. And I tell him, put a timer on, and when that timer goes off, you're done. Si fuera por ella, él puede jugar el día entero.
Not necessarily. I give him more leeway. One, because...
But that's the reason why he's like that.
I get it, and I take credit, and I know. And we're trying to fix it. The thing is that he's an only child in our household. There's no one around us that has kids or like around his age.
The neighbor has kids his age.
But they don't get along.
They were playing the other day.
Yeah.
Well, they played last year.
We're fixing relationships as we speak, guys.
So he wants to be able to do something. Like he needs to be able to do something. He doesn't want to just sit there.
No kid wants to just sit there.
Exactly. So
Él se aburre rápido. He gets bored very quickly. Right? So like he can play.
He gets that from me. I was like that as a child.
And that's why you understand it.
So I understand it. That's the same way of his learning style. Like Ethan, if you teach him something and he learned it, don't teach it to him 5, 7, 6, 8 more times, because he's gonna look at you and tell you, you taught me this 3 weeks ago. Like, I'm not doing anything more. Like, unless you're showing me something different, then what's the point? I'll show you I know how to do it, but I don't care. So his learning style is very different, and his learning actually got better during COVID. Because he flourished with online learning, where other kids did not.
My kids struggled.
No, Ethan flourished because he was able to go at his pace versus the classroom's pace. So he would finish his work, and once he was done, he was like, all right, I'm done. And then the teacher would give him something else or give him free time. So that's like, I looked into getting him into a school where it's at his own pace, because he learns fast and I learn fast. My high school teachers will tell you the same thing. I would not turn in homework ever.
Oh, but like Beverly?
What? So I had a 0. Well, no, I would turn in some homework, but I would not continue putting in effort in things that I already know. So I'll show you I know it. And then I would get hundreds in my tests. And they're like, but just like put in the work. And I'm like, for what? I know how to do it. Yeah. I'm not going to sit here and keep on doing the same thing over and over again. So, yes, I learn faster and Ethan learns faster as well. So it's a challenge for us. So he gets bored. If he's not doing something, he gets bored. Which is why I wanted to do the piano, singing, and all this stuff.
Keep him entertained.
Keep him busy into doing something else, because he is learning so fast. This kid does not like fiction. He's a nonfiction person. He can read a book and he has a photographic memory,
which is amazing.
So he'll tell you things and you're just like, what? Where in the world did that come from? So
that I do give it to him. He is smart as
like the good doctor. He like goes zones off and sees the whole body.
like
That's a gift.
Like he comes. When was it that we got him a book and it was like something about science.
We've got him a few books.
It was a science one. He came up to me, he was telling me some stuff, and I was like, "What?" I'm like he's 11, mind you, right? He's 11. I'm about to be 36, and the thing that he comes up to me and tells me, I'm like, "Where the hell are you getting this information from?"
But I feel like that because in my job, I feel like an idiot. I was like, "How did I even graduate college?"
Yeah.
There's a lot of things I don't know.
Well, you worked with all kids on the spectrum, and
not all of them.
No.
Well, my kids on the
Well,
case.
your kids. Were
yes,
all
but
on
I'm
the
talking
spectrum.
about like in general, like
Okay,
just the population. Like they would say things, and I'm like, and they would ask me, I'm like, I have no idea. They're like, but you're a teacher. I'm like, doesn't mean I know it. Like, we can Google it.
So going back to your question, babe, how did you kind of have to deal with everything? Because that's not something
That's
I've
a lot.
asked.
I don't know if you ever thought about it, but I'm listening to all the stuff that you were going through, and I'm in the back of my mind. I'm like, and how was Jose juggling all this? Because you're going through all this pain. Number one, as your husband, he's gonna want to help you. Nobody wants to see their wife.
They weren't even married yet.
Not at that time. We weren't.
Okay, but it's been ongoing.
I know, but I'm saying we're talking about the beginning. To jump into a relationship where all of these things are like basically against you.
So when we first started, let me interrupt you guys. So when we first started, it wasn't as bad as it gotten after the years, right? So it wasn't like, oh, you know, I gotta do this and I gotta do that. Porque when we were first together, I wasn't living here. Like I was living out in Worcester, and she was over here driving to Worcester to come see me. But once I moved in and I saw the struggles and all the stuff that she was going through, you know, I was playing a lot of softball. So a lot of the thing that kept me sane, right, was playing softball.
Your hobby. I always say everybody needs a hobby. Every adult.
And, you know, like from back then to now, like I don't play as much as I used to play. Yo jugaba almost every day. Si me dejaban.
3 or 4 times a day.
Pero ahora no. I play Monday, Wednesdays, which is the same league, and then either Tuesdays or Thursdays, and it's here in Hebron.
Yeah, so
and then travel, but my team folded, so I'm not even playing travel anymore like that.
My thing is, I'm still trying to wrap my head around how do you have time to, and this is a question I'm gonna ask Jose, because how do you have time to play sports the amount of times you're playing, be a husband, be a father, run a business, and work a full-time job? Please help
and be a DJ.
And be a DJ.
Communication.
Yeah. So.
Communication.
So when we first started, my communication skills were horrible.
You guys can't see Cynthia's face, but she is mind blown.
Because it's a lot.
So when we first started, my communication was horrible. So my thing with dealing with stuff was shut down and no le hablo a nadie. Like we'll get into arguments and she'll see it. She'll tell you. Yo me quedaba callado. Yo no le decía nada. I was on my own world. She was arguing with me, and I'm over here like, yep, okay. Is that all? Dejaba que terminar.
It's just so frustrating.
It
to be on
is.
the other side of it.
So, and I, trust me, I know. Because when I, not to her, but like when before her, you know, cuando me hacían eso, I hated that.
Yeah.
And I wanted to get up and like just punch someone in the face.
Yeah, it's frustrating.
So, I think from my old experiences, I just learned to like coger todo lo que me digan y quedarme callado. And then, you know, once we got married, a lot of people were like, oh, you know, happy wife, happy life.
Do you think that's true still?
Yes. Because whenever I want to do something, all I gotta do is complacerla a ella so I can get to go do whatever it is that I want to do. And she knows it's true.
Something as simple as the other day, he said, "Can I go play softball on Sunday?" And I was like, "Go buy me a burrito and you can go."
No, there wasn't a burrito. You said, "Go get me an ice cream and you can go." I was like, "Okay."
No, but you went to Taco Lupita once, or maybe
Oh,
I was
yeah.
it twice. Yeah, I wanted a burrito from Taco Lupita before we actually started really dieting, and I was like, "Just go get me a burrito and you can go play tomorrow." He's like, "Fine, done deal."
I think it's happy spouse.
No duré mucho, no, because it was like, she was like, "Oh, go buy me a burrito." I was like, "Whoop." Put the chair down. I went right into my car.
We didn't ask any more questions. Not like, is that all you want? Nothing. All right, got it, done.
So let's get into the whole, okay, we talked about your business, how you guys deal with all that, and the beginning stages of your relationship and how it started. Before we even get into your, being a stepfather, being a father, tell us about your wedding, because I know you were going to ask something about your wedding. We went to.
Which we went to, yes.
Yeah.
That's the first wedding that your husband and John went to.
Yeah.
Ever. Which is
Losers.
crazy. They're freaking in their 30s.
I love the picture of the group of all of us.
Right? Super good.
Wait, so what is it that you want to know about the wedding?
Well, we know that COVID.
Not just the wedding, but I feel like because your relationship was starting and right there COVID was starting, how did that affect, number one, I know that it affected the timeline of your wedding because you had to change it because of COVID.
We changed it 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
So that must have been A, frustrating, and B, expensive. And was there any what?
It was
It wasn't bad.
So
Was it better?
it gave us more time to plan, right? More time to finalize the details and make it the way that she wanted it.
Not we.
Happy wife, happy. I feel like it's safe to say most weddings are like the wife's
Vision.
I can tell you from the beginning, I told her I didn't want a big wedding. I was like, we can go to City Hall and get married. We don't have to do no big wedding. She's like, no, but I want my family to be there and blah, blah, blah. And at the end of the day, more of my family was there than her family. So I was like,
I want to say 70 to 80% was his family. Traveling from everywhere.
Cali, New York, Florida, DR.
Wow.
Yeah.
Maybe some other places.
So why do you think not a lot of your family showed up? This is not a jab.
No.
I can say something about it. Because, well, they were there.
Just
but
be careful what you say.
Yeah, because we're worldwide, so
Exactly.
be careful.
So
Number one podcast, so you never know.
I think it's just one, even though people knew ahead of time, our wedding was kind of the first big event that people were going to after COVID.
not even after COVID.
Because
COVID still was.
Yeah.
COVID still had
It was in 2021.
April.
In May, right?
May.
Oh.
May, yeah.
I was pregnant with Jonas.
that was the first.
Well, we had just come back from Mexico, right?
The first date was April 25th, 2020.
But then you changed it.
Well, imagine everybody was
Yeah,
locked in,
so-
no haircuts, no nothing, no salon, no eyebrows. That
So
would've been
technically,
disaster.
that was right after COVID started, because COVID
Literally,
started in
in
March.
Yeah, I was gonna say
And-
February
So-
actually for a lot of places.
To throw a fork on the road, I'm immunocompromised. So I already had, throughout this entire process, I had COVID 4 times.
Oh
Dang.
my god!
Yes.
I've had it maybe 1.5
4 to 5 times.
How do you get half a COVID?
because it was
Cynthia?
questionable. I'm not sure.
You can't get half a COVID. I'm sorry. I hate to break it to you.
That's questionable.
She probably didn't test herself, and
Probably not. I was like, that's probably COVID. So let me just chill out.
So, that was just another obstacle. So we had a lot of kind of obstacles.
But do you
deal
think
with.
that now that you're saying this, now that we're hearing your story, that this gave you the foundation to have the relationship and marriage you guys have?
Oh, 100%.
A lot of people would just give up. They're like, you know what? This is
A lot
probably
of-
God telling us not to do
A
it.
lot of couples split up because of COVID.
Oh, we know.
We know. We almost did. Just kidding.
A lot of couples split up because of COVID because they couldn't deal with their partner 24/7 in the same
They're like the
household.
real person, yeah.
Exactly.
No job, no haircut, no eyelashes.
Pajamas all day.
Pajamas all day.
Listen, it's not COVID. It's not COVID. Listen.
If you made it through that, you know that there's real love.
Yeah, exactly. And not just like COVID in itself, planning a wedding, my injury, and so we moved the date multiple times, and my first surgery was 3 days after the big wedding.
I kind of remember you saying that.
I don't remember.
2 to 3 days after.
I remember you saying that you had
June
surgery
2nd.
coming up. So
June
that's why you
2nd.
didn't go on your honeymoon.
We didn't have a honeymoon.
We still haven't had a honeymoon.
We still haven't.
I think it's time, guys. I think you deserve it.
It's okay.
Would it be weird if it was a group honeymoon? I'm just gonna throw that out there
It
because
would.
we want to have a baby moon, and I'm just saying. Just saying, we can talk
And
about it
maybe
after the
we'll
pod.
make a baby in that baby
Ooh.
honeymoon, whatever.
And you guys, it'll be your honeymoon and our baby moon, but you guys will have the baby moon after. I love it.
No, so it was very tough. So yeah, I think that definitely brought us closer, and it's not compromise, it's sacrifice.
She listens. You know
We
what?
made a lot of sacrifices.
And you know what's the unique advantage to your marriage and your union? That a lot of people, for the most part, don't get to experience these hardships right off the bat. It usually comes later on.
Yeah.
And because they haven't had the tools to develop them, it falls apart. But you guys were still brand new, where all these issues and not issues, but challenges.
You had to face a lot of things.
Exactly.
Early on.
And I feel like that gave you guys the upper hand because you were able to deal with them. You had to deal with them. You guys, not only were you guys still in that honeymoon stage, so there was a lot of love there where it gave you the upper hand to be able to deal with these
we are
challenges.
also older.
True.
And coming from a failed marriage where my last serious relationship.
You was married?
And I didn't say.
You said
said
failed
marriage.
marriage.
Oh well.
Sorry, Elisa.
Relationship.
It kind of was a marriage. We were together for
Yeah.
7 years.
I think after 6 years?
I don't know.
It's a
Don't
common
ask me.
marriage.
I don't know, something like that.
Mira, cuando tú eres hispano, when you Spanish and you live together, you're married.
You're married.
Yeah, so
Don't-
it was.
I have something to say about that.
Don't remind me.
With my son's father, it was, we were together for so long. So that was my last, really serious relationship before him, before my husband. So for both of us.
Say it again.
Before my husband.
So cute. I can't stand that.
So I love it when he calls me his wife. It's the cutest
You
thing.
guys are so cute. It's annoying. Stop it.
I know.
So, it was tough and it brought us closer, but we were already older and I didn't want to be out in the club and, messing with kids.
Says the one that met me at the club.
I know. I was forced.
But, hey.
Listen, I was forced to be there.
It's
Literally.
okay. She's a Virgo. I know she really didn't want to be there.
My sister dragged me and she can testify.
Well, look at
She
what
dragged
happened
you
to
for a reason.
I know, and it happened.
You had a purpose.
So we had the conversation already beforehand that he's older, I'm older. I don't want to be in this situationship where, un agarre or this or that. I'm like, I don't want that. I want something real, serious, something that we can move forward with. And I knew early on from our conversations that this was going to go more deeper into a serious relationship marriage because of the way that we communicated up front with a lot of our own personal baggage issues and things like that.
That's awesome.
Just threw it on the table. Like, this is what I come with.
Okay.
What's up?
Are you gonna take it or are you gonna leave it?
You can take it with you.
Was, and it was also he was learning how I communicated, how I dealt with things. I'm not a person who screams, yells, and all this stuff and throws things across the room. That's not me, and neither is he. So I was like, okay, this could,
This could work.
this could work.
Well, let's get into the conversation of then how have you managed growing into that fatherhood role
Right.
and, being a father?
Wait, first question. Honestly, looking back, when you found out that Elisa came with a child also, Was that scary?
No.
Not at all? Well, again, how old were you when you guys met?
I was 31.
Yeah, it's not the same. And you were already love children.
But
and
even
with children.
beforehand, like before me and her, some of the girls that I spoke to, they had kids too, and
it wasn't scary.
I'm, like I said, I love kids, right? But I only want one kid, one more child.
Okay.
I was gonna say Ethan.
So my question is like, how do you balance that? Because that must be tough too.
Balancing
Being a stepdad, but being a father, because he's your kid too. But I'm saying like coming into that role.
I think what she wants to say is
I don't know how to put
yesterday you didn't have a son. And
today,
now you have a son. Like you didn't have those 7 years like Elisa did to learn as you know.
Thanks, babe.
I got you.
So I guess getting used to Ethan, right? And the way that Ethan is, if he gets it his way, he got it, right? And he loves it, and he'll love you forever. So, and like my first days, when I first met him, it was like, oh, you know, I can't say anything because, en serio, and in reality, he's not my child. You know, now that we're married, he's technically my child.
He is your child.
So, in the beginning stages, it was just hard because, you know, I can't yell at him.
Yeah.
You know, then at the end of the day, she's gonna come out of nowhere and be like, "Why are you yelling at my child for?"
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. And not everyone reacts the same way. But
you had that in your mind, like there's boundaries. There's a line that I can't cross.
So
because we're new.
And I don't think I ever crossed those lines, and I don't think hasta ahora I don't think I've crossed those lines either. You know, even being married with her now. So
was there ever like I'm sorry to interrupt you. Was there ever like a conversation that you guys had like for you to take more of a father role, or did it just like happen naturally?
It just happened naturally. We never had that. We never sat down and like, oh, tú no puedes hacer esto, you can't do that, or you can't. No, we never had that conversation.
I think the only conversation that we did really have, and I had this with my son's father, it was when Jose and I were, or Euro, however people know him as. He was being more present into like Ethan's life and my life, and we knew that this was gonna go further. I had a conversation with him in the sense of he's not taking your place. He is my partner, just like you have your partner, and he will be living with us, or things like that. So just so that he is comfortable and he knows, well, I'm always gonna be Ethan's dad, and I'm like, yes, I'm not taking that away from you, and neither is he. Ethan is lucky to be able to have 4 parents.
Yeah.
I say that all the time.
So and for the most part, I can say that we will go to bat for him. At least 3-4 of us will go to bat for my son, So that's what the conversation was with him, with my son's father. It wasn't necessarily of what he can do and cannot do, and
it was like this is a thing. Like, this is really gonna be a thing. This is gonna move forward as a serious relationship. We're letting you know, like, out of respect.
And plus,
another thing is,
I always, before Jose and before my son's father's partner, it was a conversation between him and I said, if you ever have someone come into your life that is going to be present in our son's life, then you should have a conversation with me. Of course. That kind of failed, but it's okay. It's okay. We're in better places now.
Yeah.
But I was able to have that conversation with him beforehand so that he was aware and wasn't like, who is this random guy coming to Ethan's games with you?
Yeah. Co-parenting is tough, bro.
It's super tough. It is tough.
So like I was going to say, what I like the most is that, whenever something happens at home, I have his number so I can text him and let him know. Like, listen, this is what happened. Such and such, and he can't play on the Switch or whatever.
Okay. So you're on the same
So it's a united front.
That's what's up.
So like whatever happens here, he
needs
knows,
to continue.
right? So that's one of the things that I love. So
I'm glad because that's not easy.
It is so confusing though when it's like we're meeting a new teacher for school and then you have it's like okay, so you have 3 out of the 4 or sometimes all 4 of us there and it's like so this is dad, this is mom, this is stepmom, this is stepdad, you know, and it's like kind of like okay, so who does the child live with?
With both.
Oh, and he lives more with me, but he lives in the weekends with them.
So you share custody right now?
Yes.
Okay.
And that's not something we went to court for. It was more of our
agreement.
Yeah, our agreement. It's like, you know, I want you to be part of his life. I'm never gonna take you away from him or him away from you. It's not that side of like situation. I always wanted him and I still want him to be part of Ethan's life. It's plain and simple. It's just a little bit complicated and we have to think outside of the box when we weren't going to be living together.
Okay.
You have any more co-parenting questions?
Nope.
I was going to say you said the best part of it was the open like lines of communication that you have. What's the most challenging part of co-parenting?
You want to go first or you want me to go first?
You can go first.
The most challenging part of co-parenting is it is very, very difficult because you don't have control over the other person's household. So you don't know what happens. You don't know the environment. Well, you do. You have an idea. You know what I mean? And I always trust that my son's father is always going to have his best intentions.
Of course.
You know, because obviously that is his dad. He won't let anything happen to him. And I absolutely love that he is very well involved in Ethan's life, you know? So it is just, I have no control over that household.
Sounds like the Virgo in you.
Yes, it is the Virgo in me. And plus,
I was going to say the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we, in our household, there is no yelling. There is no in your face or arguing or this or that. Just the other day, we had a little, can you help me, can you wash the dishes so I can cook? And Ethan was there and Jose and I kind of went a little bit back and forth on it. And Ethan's like, was that your first fight? I'm like, that wasn't a fight. I'm like, Bobby, that wasn't a fight. He's like, I thought you guys were arguing. And I was like, no. He was like, okay. So he's not used to that. And also he's used to having his space. You know, when he gets flustered, it's like, go take your time, relax, and when you're able to talk, come back, you know. Whereas in the other household, it might be a little bit different. There's more people, there's more kids, and it's understandable. It's a lot for just 2 adults, and I completely understand, but I can only care for my child because he's only my child.
Right. You can only control your household.
I can only control my household, but I also, I'm going to go to bat for my child.
Of course.
Any day, you know, all this stuff. So if something is making my son feel uncomfortable, I'm going to have a conversation. And I have had multiple conversations with my son's father. Like, you know, certain things. Hey, what happened? So Ethan
we differ in that so much. I'm listening to you and I'm like the opposite of you.
And it's hard though. It is so hard because I've had moments where you can ask Jose, I've wanted to pick up the phone and just like yell, argue, and what the is going on, Ethan this, and you know, and I can't do that because 1, I don't know the full story of what actually happened, and 2, I can only go by, you know,
what your son tells you.
Yes, what he's telling me, and 2, I don't know how they deal with things.
Yeah.
So I've learned that I have to, let me take a step back, let me breathe, because some things I absolutely want to break someone's face sometimes, you know, but I know I can't do that.
I couldn't picture you doing that.
No.
Listen, I've watched enough Criminal Minds, Law and Order, and a bunch of other shows. I think I'm very well equipped onto making someone disappear. No,
oh my God. Don't get her mad, everyone. That's what she's trying to say.
So if you guys can't find me, just saying.
We have proof.
We have proof as this episode. You're screwed.
I'm just kidding. No, but I'm sure, Cynthia, you've had moments where, yes, you can be very quiet, tranquila, let me take a step back, but you explode at some point.
Most definitely.
And when Virgos explode, you have to be afraid.
Well, because there's no control at that point.
Yes.
But I'm working on that. I'm a new person.
See, for co-parenting, that whole, having completely different environments. So for me, it's like I've learned, also I've been co-parenting for forever.
Yeah.
But I've learned like I can't control what happens outside of my home. I can set specific boundaries, like the co-sleeping. I don't like that. Like you never know, and like if they have no place to sleep, bring them back home. They have their beds. Mm-hmm. They have like nobody will be laying a hand on my kids. Like I have my boundaries, but unfortunately I can't control that environment. I hope that it's a environment where people aren't yelling and throwing stuff across the room, but I don't know. I don't even ask my girls. Like, I don't get into that. If they're ever uncomfortable, I know that they'll come and tell me. I know it doesn't happen because they haven't told me anything like that, but I can only control the chaos in this house. They're going to have their experience of being in mommy's house and being in papi's house. I can't control that.
Mm-hmm.
That's because it's a part of it.
You can still ask questions though. You can be
like,
"Oh, how was your weekend?"
But they're older, so they communicate that willingly.
I do. Yeah. We text all the time. Hey, what you guys doing? Oh, you guys ate, blah, 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 like stuff like that.
They're more independent, so they're able to be like, listen.
Right.
They're able to share a lot more.
I know that if anything out of the ordinary happens, they're like, "Mami, tú no sabes." Like,
did you get your tea?
Did you? Exactly. They'll text me in the moment, like, if something happens.
Yeah.
It's different because Ethan is younger, and also Ethan is a boy. I feel like boys don't communicate maybe as much.
He's learning to communicate more, and it's.
Was that sexist?
Yeah. First of all, Beverly, super sexist. Hey guys, I'm coming on here just to give a quick little disclaimer. We had some tech issues with this wonderful episode. So I had to come back solo and re-record the ending and just give a little explanation as to why it ended with Beverly saying, "Is that sexist?" and me putting her in her place and saying, "It is." Very sexist. But we wanted to come on here because obviously it didn't record us thanking Elisa and Jose for their participation on this week's podcast and their life, their newlywed life, parenting, co-parenting, and how they run a business. So thank you guys for spending some time with us. And actually, Elisa, on the original episode, finished off with a nugget because I didn't have one, but she was kind enough and wise enough to share a wonderful nugget that we will insert and you will hear in a second.
So for the nugget of the day, I would say in order to have a successful co-parenting situation, you need to change your mindset. It can't be about your feelings or his feelings. It can't be about why'd you guys break up. It has to be about the child. Once you guys start changing the way your conversations are going and only have conversations about the child, then you'll start to see a difference and you start to see a change in the way that your co-parenting starts to be better and easier. So that is my nugget of the day. Have your conversations be about the child for co-parenting in order to have a successful co-parenting situation.
And with that, I will end by saying solo, because Beverly's not here. She had a doctor's appointment to go to parenting. Thank you for not getting tipsy with us, but still keeping it truthful. Bye, guys.
Thanks for tuning in. Check us out on Instagram at Tipsy and Truthful Podcast.
And TikTok at Tipsy and Truthful. See you next week.
Love you, babes.